All right, guys, welcome to episode 4 of the Goldwave podcast. And our guest today is Goldwave themselves, Mr. Michael Gonzalez and Jesus Salinas. All right. And how does it feel, Michael, to finally be on camera from being the one behind the camera all the time?
It feels good. It feels good. I gave all the responsibility to George,
and now he's leaving.
And I
now he's walking out.
Yeah. As soon as I said hit record, I feel like he left. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
That's wild.
It's
cool.
nice. It's nice, and especially because I'm chatting with Jesus and you. So
I can't think of any better guest to have episode 4 right now than just to go on the backstory of Goldwave and your friendship. What brought y'all together, man? Bottom line.
Mike, you can
sure, yeah. So
you can talk. We need to hear you talk, brother.
And we became friends in middle school. So I would say 8th grade, really, right?
Definitely no. Yeah,
we knew each other. We knew each other in 7th grade through mutual friends. 8th grade is when we really just like okay.
I went to his birthday party.
Yeah, go for it. Tell your side.
I met a mutual friend named Eric and Furman. And they were like, yo, we're going to Mike's party. And I was like, who's Mike? And they were like, oh, it's just our friend. And so I decided to tag along. We walk home from Vela. And we get to his house. And it was just fun. Like, we played video games. We wrestled.
Yeah, we were really big into wrestling. So, like, this guy was doing Jeff Hardy swantons off my couch on me.
Okay.
Yeah, we were setting up like moves and it was a lot of fun. I ended up spending the night along with like some of his close friends, right? Mm-hmm. And little by little in the morning they start leaving, and I'm like,
he ends up being the last one there.
I don't have anybody to pick me up. Like my living situation, like my parents lived in Matamoros. I was living with a cousin, and I was just like, yo, I'm gonna go spend the night, and there's no like, where are you? Like, I'm gonna go pick you up. So I was like, right, hey Mike, I'm gonna spend the night again. Or I think you asked me.
So the first night, because if I remember correctly, this was so long ago.
Yeah.
We were 13 years old. So technically, this was 2 decades ago, right?
It's wild.
But I remember telling him like, well, dude, if you don't have a ride, just crash out here. And he was like, you cool? And I'm like, yeah, dude, crash out. He crashed out. The next day, same thing happened, and I was like, well, just stay. And
because it was a weekend, right? It was like a Friday going into Saturday, Sunday.
And then I'll never forget, like, the 3rd or 4th day, he was like, is it cool? And I was like, why don't you just move in? No, like, and it happened so like that, right?
No way.
It was such an immediate, like, why don't you just move in? Not to go in, like, my own backstory, but, I grew up with an aunt that was my guardian. Bless her soul, she's not with us here today, but at that time, she was old. She was getting older. So she, again, bless her heart, she just didn't really know what was going on. She knew I was there and I was into music and I had my friends. She knew that, but she didn't really know what was going on, right? I mean, shit. Those were the days when, like, we were first learning to smoke weed, like, in my backyard. Not even having to hide anything because she doesn't know anything. Like, cigarettes, too, yeah.
Started with cigarettes, like, smoking out of his window, like, trying to hide it from her. She could probably smell it with the AC, like.
But she didn't care.
As long as y'all were home, safe, right?
As long as we were home.
That was the thing. Yeah.
But I think for her, it was like, I didn't even tell. I was like, hey, Jesus is going to just live here. And she was just like, okay. She was like, okay, cool. And then he did. And then he never, like.
He never left,
He never left. So we did all of 8th grade living together.
Going into
8th grade
freshman.
summer was epic. That's when we really got into music. We knew what we were going to do. We were going to do music.
Yeah.
We knew what was going to happen.
You were already playing guitar. Yeah. Learning with James.
Yep. And then freshman year kicks in, and we're still living together, dude. We lived together all of high school, really. Yeah. There was a few months where he would go with his fam, but then he would come back. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, yeah, let me go spend some time with my fam for like a month or two, especially the holidays, right?
Were they still in Mexico?
Yeah, but so I would live with like my sisters. Like my parents would come and go, so they would have like a room like at my sister's house.
Okay.
And so then I would go stay there, or I would go stay with my cousin for like school zoning purposes. She had an apartment, and she had an extra room.
Candle?
So my
Candle,
yeah,
right?
that was fun. Yeah. So my situation was always like freedom. Like at growing up, my parents, I guess, trusted me.
Yeah.
Because I never really fucked up, you know, like I never really gave them problems, and I was always kind of like stubborn in what I wanted to do. So I think they learned quickly to be like, okay, we'll let you do it, and then I just never fucked up. So they kept letting me do things, you know, which ended up being awesome. I got to live with, I got to make a best friend and live, you know, and go through shit. Like we went through so much growing together. It was crazy.
We were kids.
We were kids.
Wow.
So
it blows my mind.
We met as kids, yeah.
So we were kids. We were learning music. We played a lot. And some of our closest friends, and I'll say their names, you know, like James, Matt, Harley, even Harley's brother, Ricky, we all played instruments. Mm-hmm. And so we decided let's at least start a cover band, and we did. That's how we started. That's how we started the music journey with them.
No.
The cover band.
But
me and you before.
There's a whole story of why.
Go ahead.
What was it? The Ataris? The Ataris were gonna come.
But again, remember, Letdown was before the Ataris.
Oh, you're right.
So
I'm sorry. The Ataris was Cosmo Girl.
Yes. So we were in a cover band.
My bad. You're absolutely right.
With the same members that were in Cosmo Girl. Yeah. But except we weren't Cosmo Girl yet. We were just a cover band. We were covering a lot of like Taking Back Sunday.
That's how I came into the picture. I didn't start in that cover band.
Yes, but then you came in last.
I went to a practice, and the singer had like a fit and left the room.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they just told me pick up the mic, and I knew the song, I played with them. Yeah. And they were like, "Hey, do this one."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I don't know that one." And they gave me the lyrics, and I did it, and it was just like, well, I guess I can sing. Mm-hmm. And I ended up playing the show.
Yeah, you did.
2 days later, or some shit like that.
And y'all open for the Ataris?
No.
In the future.
This is a house show as a cover band, just a house show, something chill.
Whatever happened to house shows? I freaking love house shows.
They still happen.
I feel like we're just old.
But where do they happen?
High schoolers.
At high school's houses.
But there's nothing like the vibe of house shows.
Well, I think.
But
you know why?
We don't know. Why? Maybe there is.
Check this out, guys.
There is.
No,
we're not there. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you something. When we were growing up, there was no streaming. There was no Instagram. There was no websites. There was no shit that you would prioritize. Like, we were just trying to express and do something, bro.
Wherever you could, right?
In a city that didn't have much to offer.
Social media took it away.
Yeah, well, not that it took it away, but I can just see it in people, in like now teenagers' minds that are making
They'll
music.
Prioritize that.
It's like,
right?
Fuck a house party. I'm gonna upload, and I'm gonna focus on uploading to the internet.
Let's do the EP already,
trying
kind of
to
thing,
get big.
right?
Let's just put it out.
Let's put it out.
Fuck trying to build the fan base live. Yeah. Like now, it's build your fan base online. I think.
Interesting. Yeah,
and I feel like maybe we're wrong. Maybe there is no more house parties.
Well, is Goldwave opposed to throwing a house party one day?
I think I don't think there's any oppositions here.
No.
When it comes to music, if it makes sense,
we're all up. We're always up.
We're up for new shit all the time.
I think the spirit of the house show is a beautiful thing. What memories? What are some of the most fond memories that you all have regarding house shows in any era of music? Maybe where we're at right now in the timeline.
No, for sure. So, I mean, just to start, when we were, going back to talk about, that cover band and our old band Cosmo Girl with the guys I just mentioned. Again, we were in high school. We were seniors. Mm-hmm. We were seniors in high school. So we're already kind of at the tail end of high school, right? And it continued on into our early college years of doing that. And that was the era of us playing quite a few house shows, and not just in Brownsville. I remember playing some in Austin. I think we even played some in San Antonio. Jesus and I, and this is years later, we've even done house shows in New York City, in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, bro.
And
that was wild.
It's been a blast that we've got to do stuff like that, me and this guy. But again, we'll get there. But yes, house shows, Ralph. I think some of our there's been so many, but I will mention, and I guarantee, maybe if you're watching or not, Xavier Aguilar and his sister Zaira Aguilar, they lived down the street from my house, and they always had the coolest house shows.
Okay.
They had us play. We played. I want to say we only played like twice.
But the cops came.
But White Zebra was always there.
Shout out Adrian.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Adrian.
Big shout out.
I think they even had Dignan there.
I was going to say, probably Dignan.
I would not be
Xavier,
surprised.
and it's so funny too because Xavier just super cared about music.
Mm-hmm.
He always did, and he's running Empire Control Room in Austin.
Nice.
yeah.
So that never left his passion. So shout out X if you're listening or watching because, dude, yeah, that was great. So those were some of my favorites at his house. And then again, we got to play in Brooklyn at a basement house show that we weren't even planning to do, and
we just got invited.
That was super fun.
We got invited because we played we played this candy shop that had a back room.
Yep.
That was for like intimate shows.
Yep.
And then from there, these people, these I think it was a girl.
There was someone watching.
I think it was a girl that liked Mike, and she was like, "Hey, there's this party." Yeah, there was this girl. She was a Scorpio too, or some shit like that.
What? My memory.
Sounds like fun.
Anyway,
dude.
she hooks us up with this guy who's doing a house show like in a day or two after that.
Yeah.
And we're fuck yeah, because we were just in New York for we were there indefinitely, but really we knew we were going to be there for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, which it ended up being 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Of just sleeping in the car, fucking.
We total vagabonded it. Yeah. We were vagabonds in New York.
That's so killer, dude.
But we went with our gear.
Yeah, all our
So
gear,
we also wrote an EP out there. Yeah. We played 2 shows. I mean, dude, we got to watch Franz Ferdinand, Disclosure.
Oh my God!
Straight, what they call it, Straight Talk or Straight Sound? I forget their name. The one that we won the tickets for. It was fun. But anyway, house shows, dude. We've done a few, and there's probably a lot that we forgot about. But
you know what the best house show was? Your house party.
Oh man, the disaster one.
I think that was still the letdown.
Project X. Dude,
you tried at Project X?
I didn't even
Before Project X existed.
I didn't even try it. It just happened.
The cops came.
Oh my God!
We got shut in. Like people were like, we were like, turn off the lights.
Well, because we were underage and my older brother was there. So if he was gonna get, fucked, for lack of better words, he was gonna get fucked if the cops came in and they were gonna, And I was like, we can't let this happen. So I'm like, we're locking in, we're staying in, and we did till the morning. And then I'll never forget, 2 days later, me and my brother ripping out the carpet because it was just destroyed. A toilet was broken in half. We had to replace toilets.
What?
Staircases were broken, so we put new stairs.
It was dumb, bro.
We redid the house because of that party.
How does that happen, though?
People that we don't know wholeheartedly showed up, and it became like a party,
we're not exaggerating. We say Project X.
I believe it, bro.
We wanted it to be like,
and it wasn't. We weren't planning that either.
We wanted a house show.
Yeah, we wanted a house show.
We were in the spirit of house show, and let's show all these songs that we've learned. I will never forget it because we played Bizarre Love Triangle.
Oh yeah, we did.
And I think that's the only time we ever played that song, and it was cool. It was just
by New Order,
a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as house parties go, I think that's one.
I think Jesus is right. I think I tried to block that out of my memory.
That's how crazy it was.
Because of the remodeling of my home afterwards. But I think, I think he's right. I think that was probably
just epic at that time.
House party. And it wasn't just us. A few of our friends' bands were playing, so it was really fun.
And I think they got to play, and we were last, and we got
cut off because the cops came. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It was a good
well
time.
rehearsed and on fire, right?
It was fun.
We got to play Bizarre Love Triangle.
Yeah, we did.
And that's what
matters. We started the set, right?
Probably.
And then cops show up.
So I'm trying to picture. So what year was this that you were talking about?
2006.
We were still in high school. 2006.
Well, it must have been 2004 or 5.
Because
we graduated.
So then for sure 2005, because it was probably nearing the end of our last winter in high school,
which was the year before
we graduated.
Or maybe it was senior year then, right?
It was senior year.
Senior year.
It had to have been.
Now, when, because the lineup of the band was, who was in the band at the time?
So Jesus is the singer. Well, Jesus was a singer, right?
You're playing guitar, right?
We still try to get together every now and then, which is super fun. We haven't done it in a while, though. We did 2 or 3 reunions, and that's been super fun to play with those guys. I play guitar, and then the other 3 guys are really good friends of ours, our brothers. Harley was our bass player. Matthew played guitar and synthesizers, and then James was on drums.
Okay.
And it was the 5 of us. As that band, Cosmo Girl.
And then Dancinatra. When did that come into play? When did you all start doing that?
Austin.
Well,
it was a little after.
It started a little bit before
2008.
as like.
True.
It started a little bit before as kind of like an experiment of electronic music.
Because y'all lived together still at the time, right?
A little fun fact for people watching: when Dancinatra first started, it wasn't just me and him. Our good friend Alex in Austin, and I just shared his story recently because he's in a band called Daystar and he kills it. He was jamming with us, and it was supposed to be us 3.
He literally sang the first song we ever tried. It was called Lions. Yeah.
And then we had another one called The World. And we had 2 songs with him, and the 3 of us were trying to get into this electronic world of music writing because it was all guitar and bass and drums beforehand. And so that worked for a little bit. We wrote 2 songs with him, but then he moved to Austin and we stayed. So that stopped, but we kept Dancinatra going.
Always as a side thing, as an experiment where he would make some chords because we've always had a reason. We've always had this program that we share mutually. And it's like, he would make some chords and throw some stuff on there, and then I would hear it and make some lyrics, make some drums and stuff like that for fun, literally, like just
because we were still playing with the guys in Cosmo
What is
Girl.
this? Yeah, Cosmo Girl was priority, but Dancinatra was like something that was, I guess.
Well, not to cut you off, but I think at that point, all 5 of us in the band were learning different areas.
Okay.
And I remember that. We were starting to jam different things, and it was affecting the creativity of Cosmo Girl. Not in a bad way.
The cohesion.
It was the gel wasn't so jelly anymore.
Interesting.
Because we were all diving into different things.
And we didn't live together. Schedules were weird.
I've been there.
Just
with
things
the band,
things were just kind of not falling apart, but the puzzle pieces were slipping. You know what I mean? And so anyway, we were just like, well, it's okay if that happens, right? It's natural. So, but let's not stop being creative. And so that's when we took Dancinatra to
living together in Austin.
Let's make it a band and actually start performing.
Yeah.
And that's when that happened. And that must have been 2009 when we officially said, now we're going to be Dancinatra and play.
Cool. So now picturing the timeline where you guys put Dancinatra together and started going, I guess, full time with that project. And instead of it being in the back burner, what year was that? And I mean, how was life like at that time?
We were in Austin, I think 2009, like you're saying, right?
Yeah.
2009.
Like really early college years or what? That kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We moved out there for music, but really, to go to school and I guess just fucking live. But 2009, we start really finishing songs at our apartment, right? We're living together. And then I think we did our own house show there at the apartment to our friends. And I guess their reaction really inspired us to keep doing it. And sure enough, we end up getting shows. We end up getting shows at places where we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, we played some really cool places.
Obviously, we
Austin.
live there, and so the opportunity is there. But to play like
Parish,
that's probably
Mohawk.
the best one. Yeah, Mohawk.
Of course, we played Emos.
fucking Cheer Up Charlie's.
Cheer Up Charlie's.
Like, we're just playing these venues that we're going to see bands at, and at that time, it felt fucking awesome, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We were getting great reaction from the crowd, not just our friends, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so
we started to have this little network.
I feel
out there.
I feel like it was easy. It was just like a smooth
natural
thing that happened,
organic,
because we lived together.
That's what it boils down to, right?
If Cosmo Girl would have lived together when we moved out there, it would have been a different story.
Interesting.
But it didn't happen that way, you know. But we ended up living together, and I feel like that's really what helped build what Dancinatra became.
You know, I really feel that true musicianship is a master of intimacy. I've never said that before, but I think that's what it is. And because y'all have lived together for so long, you're not living together right now, but y'all are essentially brothers, adopted brothers, right? Okay. I mean, there's an intimacy that forms with that. And if y'all had the same aspirations, obviously there was going to be a lot of aligning to that. Mm-hmm. So with that, I think maybe y'all agree, some people that don't have lofty goals or can tap into their creativity, they're just not intimate with themselves and others.
Okay. I feel like I know where you're going with this, because I've said this to multiple friends of mine that are musicians that don't have someone that they live with that's on the same page. I've had multiple people tell me, and friends, yeah, but you guys are lucky that you have each other. And I used to always just be like, when I was younger, I mean, we've always been together.
like, what does that mean?
Like, that's not anything new to me. So what do you mean by that? Mm-hmm. But what they were trying to say was, if at any point you felt that you weren't putting in your all, I was there to push you up. Mm-hmm. Vice versa. If at any point I felt maybe I'm slacking on something, basically we were there to push each other to get better and better always. And it was an immediate challenge. It was a staircase for us to get better and better and better together. And I realize, and I think this is where you're going with, when people don't have that and they're by themselves writing, sometimes it's hard because you don't have another person in that same level to say, oh shit, dude, that sounded really good. Let's go off of that. When immediately you could easily think,
is that good?
This is kind of weak. And I would have thought that to a lot of things, but he'd be like, Mike, play that again. And then he'd come in with a beat, and then I'd be like, oh, you hurt. And then boom, guess what? We wrote a song.
Something.
Wow.
But that wouldn't have happened if I was by myself.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
or it would have happened differently.
I would have been like, let's scratch that. We probably wouldn't have had our album because I would have scratched so much of it.
Well,
you feel what I'm saying?
He believed in you when you didn't believe in what you were doing, and maybe vice versa, or he saw another side of something that you weren't seeing.
Exactly. We had another pair of eyes and ears.
That's awesome, bro.
Always.
And it was
always.
And I guess we were lucky that this sounds kind of weird, but that it was good, you know, like
yes,
like I'm hearing some shit that he's making, and the way for me singing works or lyrics or that process, it's like I need to hear that. I can't just write lyrics to nothing. Like I need to hear that what is it called? The
melody,
the chord progression,
the melody, the progression,
the chord progression, and it's like almost every time that he would fucking sit to do something, it
would make sense,
inspiring something, and so just natural.
If that answers your question.
Most definitely. And I think it boils down to having everything that y'all said just means that y'all have had a really good partnership with whatever ventures you've had.
Luckily, it's been a blessing.
And I mean,
we trust each other.
And then this leads into the media stuff that y'all have been doing for a while, for I'm presuming the bulk of your income as professionals in the media industry. I think that's absolutely crazy.
Going into Goldwave.
Going into, the formation of Goldwave
Studios. It started as Goldwave Records.
Well, hold on. Before we get there, guys.
Hold on. Let's
mentioned
finish
something, Ralph. And I'm down. He mentioned this earlier. What did you want to do?
I want to jam something. I want to jam.
He's been mentioning this.
What kind of jam, Rob?
We need to just jam something. Michael, you could play some chords.
Just straight
Jesus,
off the top.
Off the top.
George is here, and
George.
he brought a sax. I think he stepped outside real quick.
Well, we'll get him right now.
But
he
he
has
it.
a sax.
I'm down.
You down to lay a jam down?
When have we not been down to lay a jam?
Let's make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, so what we're going to do, instead of doing a culinary and drink segment, we're going to actually do our first Goldwave jam here. Episode 4. And when we go ahead and land that plane, we're going to go into exactly how Goldwave found themselves in the media realm, being top dogs in the industry here. Let's go ahead and get going, guys.
I'm not gonna lie. That was actually pretty fun because that was the first time the four of us jammed.
I did not know I could just.
We hadn't jammed before. Maybe if we were really drunk and don't remember. Maybe.
I have never jammed with you guys for sure.
I know, right?
I've been the lucky one to jam with everyone here,
but not
you
together.
Guys
we hadn't all jammed together.
Not together.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the beauty. And you know how I was talking about that intimacy stuff.
Right.
We were kind of just being raw in the moment and listening to each other, filling it out. I don't know what the hell I was gonna do, but kind of going back to what
George
we were
killed the
talking
sax,
about.
by the way.
Yeah. Hey,
George,
what do you think about when you play all those crazy licks, bro? Let's be honest here.
I think you stole the show on that one.
What do I think? I don't think of
That's a Beetlejuice answer right there, bro.
He's just jamming.
He's taking it around.
That was fun though. We should do that again.
Yeah,
we should do that again.
Let's do it again, guys.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah,
let us know.
Sure.
Cool, man. So, I mean, y'all said something about Goldwave Studios. What's up with that? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, Goldwave Studios ended up happening here in Brownsville, but before Goldwave Studios, we started Goldwave Records in Austin.
Goldwave Records. And
we were just all in on music, and we wanted to produce artists and be an independent record label, basically. And so we ended up working with people like Patrick Sims, great singer, Katie Starr as well, great singer. And then we started diving also into like rap and a little bit different with
Nico Savvy
and Sloom,
Lauren Bruno.
Just really
a lot of
collabs.
cool artists in Austin that were doing things,
that were down to collab as well.
Yes.
Like they were down to trust us with the music side of it, you know, which is something that kind of evolved us really, because we were thinking in like, oh, Dancinatra songs like of just ourselves,
Right.
but then it's like, oh shit, now we got to put ourselves in this artist's vibe, you know, and his style. And so making stuff for like Patrick was almost like weird in the beginning, because it's like it was his ideas. It was exactly. It was new.
We'd never done it.
It was like,
but if it wasn't for Patrick, it wouldn't.
We were listening to what they wanted,
right?
I love that.
And what they wanted to hear in their songs. And it's like Mike has always been the musicality of Dancinatra, and so him starting that. And then I remember hearing the first thing that they did, and I was like, what the fuck? And I really liked it.
That's
because
awesome.
it was just like this. It was like these digital pieces of music with an R&B singer on top of it, and I was just like, wow. I've always loved R&B, hip hop, that kind of side of music, and so we really wanted to be a record label. We wanted to do that whole building up,
almost like even like an artist management.
Yeah.
So it started with us trying to get these singers and rappers as like features for us, but it worked out so well with all of them, and we meshed with all of them so well that they were basically just like, well, hey,
can we make more?
Can you just make music for me now? Can you produce for me? And so we did. We wrote an EP for Patrick Sims, which was totally out of our comfort zone and out of our box, but that helped us for all the future ones, because if it wasn't for Patrick, I don't think it would have been so smooth with everyone else. Patrick kind of got us out of our element to like, oh, okay,
because he was so vocal.
Let's put our what we know to the side a little bit and bring in what they know
and what they want,
and then let's mix it all up and create something that we all enjoy. And so yes, with Katie Starr, you know, Nico Savvy, Lauren Bruno, all those people in Austin.
Fucking Frequency.
Which we still stay in touch with, all of them.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle.
All these artists, bro.
Kyle, by the way, and I think if you're watching this, Isaac, Kyle, he said he wants to come down here and make some songs for a week, and I haven't told you this.
Podcast and jam.
It's going to happen.
Oh, man. That sounds epic.
He's an amazing
great producer.
Amazing
Him and Jesus together on the mix. Yeah. That's great.
Did you all also produce artists when y'all moved back down here?
Yeah. So we started with Nick. We already knew Nick was a good singer. We didn't know like where he was at, like his influences.
Okay.
So, and I remember the first time we heard him
in the car, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
We were at.
I was blown away.
We were at Philly's.
I remember. I'll never forget.
We were at this place. Do y'all remember this place called Philly's?
Up the expressway.
Yes.
Right next to Denny's and those places.
I don't know what we were doing there, and then Nick's there, and then he's like, I don't know if he started flowing for us at Philly's, and then we went to the car. No, anyway, we ended up at the car.
We heard him first in the car.
We put a beat on, and he just starts going off, like rapping.
And that was it.
We've never heard him rap before.
Damn, okay.
He was in the Cities. He was the singer of the Cities, which was a band which is like what indie rock. Indie rock, bro. And then we hear him throw these like just rap in style, you know, just like smooth. And it's like, what?
It was right in the ballpark with what we were coming from in Austin.
Yeah.
So it was kind of I remember me and Jesus I remember looking at you like okay.
Like something
but we didn't do it right there.
Interesting.
And then we paused on that for a while, but we knew something was going to come, but we just took a little break. And going now from Goldwave Records to Goldwave Studios, that started basically there afterwards. You know, I bought a camera, Sony A7 III, Sony Lovers, of course, and a few of our friends, they had some businesses, including Adrian. We brought Adrian up. Creative Cave. Our friend Anubis had a food truck for vegans. Chile de Arbol.
That's right. Yeah.
Amazing.
Gosh, I miss their food so much.
Dude.
Chile de Arbol.
Please make something.
Remember the pastor ones, bro? Jeez Louise.
So let's stop because I'm going to call the newbies right now and get upset. But no, I'm kidding. A friend of mine from elementary, actually, Derek Torres, has a barbershop. And so he had that. So a few of our friends had some small businesses, which I was like, hell yeah, that's badass. You guys mind if I do a free little promo video for y'all? And that's how Goldwave Studios started. We did it for fun. I really just wanted to just film something. And I got the whole Adobe suite, so I got into video editing, bought some lights. Mm-hmm. I just invested because it was fun. And we've always loved film and movies and acting and music. And it just kind of naturally ended up going to that chapter now. Okay, now cameras are involved. We already did the music. Now naturally cameras and lighting are coming. Okay, let's go. And we did, dude. And from those little 4 videos or 5 that we made, kind of just like to give our friends messages just rolled in. And word of mouth just started popping in. Who did this video, and that's how it started. That's how Goldwave Studios started. It's developed throughout the years, like, now we do, photo shoots. We can, we do it all. We can film weddings, music videos, promos for restaurants or any business. If people need, models or actors, we can do that as well. Yeah. Headshot. It's just evolved.
Yeah, it's definitely evolved into what people need. Yeah. Right. So we started just getting out there and networking, that famous word, networking.
Y'all did it the right way, though. It's just giving value first before you charge.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And then now, look, your cups are always filled, man.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's a blessing. The right way, bro.
It's a blessing.
It is a blessing to be able to wake up and work creatively every day.
Beautiful.
And we've got to work with some really cool people. I mean, Rancho Viejo.
Yeah,
we did a lot of their stuff.
Our first client, which
Wing Barn,
came from our very good friend Eric Hernandez.
Shout out.
He was working with Wing Barn
at the time,
and he also got me my job that I currently have.
That's
with
right.
him, fundraising department. Thank you, Eric. I love you, brother. Anyway, he gets us into. He's in a meeting with them, and they need a video. He gets us in there. We go to their newest location.
They had just opened their Harlingen.
We go to their Stewart Place location. 2019, this is.
It's a freaking cool plaza right there, bro.
Like it actually is.
It's a nice plaza, bro.
Dos Olivos and all that.
Yeah.
Yes. Right next door.
Yeah. And so we go, bro. We kill it. We make a dope ass video. I remember reading the comments because right after we got them as a cool client as well for social media management.
He called us like 2 days later. He goes, dude, these guys love it. Yeah. They want to bring you on like as official like their marketing media. And so that kicked off our
we can do this.
We can do this. And
we can do this professionally. Yeah. And that really set the tone, really.
And we've worked with several, as time goes by. Some people need it. Some people don't need it anymore. Mm-hmm. They need it. They don't. They need it. They don't. So we've got to work with so many cool people, dude, and smart business owners that we've learned
from them. Yeah, for
just
sure.
from their business.
They've inspired us to.
They've inspired us, and here we are, dude. Still investing in equipment and gear that are gonna make us
better,
get to another level, but also just learning and doing it, and it's been a blessing, man. Going from Austin, from music. I mean, going from all the way from home, but music, Austin music, and then getting this now video aspect into it, and so cool. And media and marketing, and it's just been it's a blast.
It's
first
a
off,
ride.
Do y'all do any background music for these promo videos?
We used to.
We should do all of them. If you go to like our page, all like the first year or year and a half, we made all those beats for promo videos. Okay. And then we just started to realize like that's not so important.
priority,
We
yeah.
just did it because it was like, oh, let's add that too. So everything is from us. But then we realized, well, the music's not really that important.
But
It's
not
the
just
video.
that, yeah,
Not in a negative way.
Exactly. It was more like, okay, we started realizing like, oh, we got to use audios that are in
Yes.
Instagram,
Yes.
and we got we got to play the game. It
okay.
wasn't so much of like, hey, look at us and
Yeah,
look at
I can do
look at the
this.
beat
No.
that we can make. It can be beautiful, but
Like what song?
It won't
what
work
song
in the
is,
algorithm, you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
That's true.
And
The algorithm's a
so-
big thing to pump out content.
we
outreach.
learn how to be efficient,
Yeah.
because that's what this game is about. If you don't become efficient, it just burns you out, which we've kind of experienced and dealt with, the best that we can. But I think it all comes down, when it comes to media and marketing, it all comes down to inspiration, bro. So as long as we keep fucking following pages that are doing cool shit,
Right.
I'll look at a video and I'm like, I want to do something like that, and so it's always it's a wheel, it's a hamster wheel, bro.
And shout out to like all of our clients now and all of our previous clients or anyone that knows that like, okay, if I need a video, let me hit up the guys, Goldwave. And shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
We'll always be there for y'all. We appreciate it. It's always a blast.
It's always flattering to receive that call,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yo, we want to trust you guys to do this.
Yeah. And then we put our hats on and we're just like, all right, let's
go to
kill
work.
this project.
Let's go to work.
And lately, my dog, Mox,
Mox.
say hi. He wants to be
A lot of people love this dog.
Yeah.
He can be in anytime.
Up on me. I think it's super cool, man. I really like the chemistry that you guys have. And I remember when I first met you, Jesus, I was like, now I understand why you're this guy's brother. You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
It's a total yin yang.
Oh, most
It's
definitely.
a total yin yang right here, dude. In a good
so
way. I mean,
fascinating.
right?
For sure. I think I'm just a level-headed guy, bro, with an alarm ringing.
When was the last time y'all wrote something together?
In
That's
the
a
same
good-
room?
That's a good question.
In the same room, I think.
That's a good question.
Today.
No, we didn't write it.
we wrote
That was a jam.
that was a jam.
Oh, we were. I mean, it was cohesive.
That's called writing.
We did something.
Me
No,
and Jesus really sitting down, like writing.
Yeah.
Was definitely with our friend Nick, who we've talked about, with our band called Trine. And I think that was our last real sit down. Let's write this song. Let's piece it out,
Yeah.
structure it. Which
In that sense,
realistically, I would say about
A year
ago. and it might sound crazy,
It's a
like, oh,
long
really? You guys
time.
haven't jammed in a year? But here's the thing: we've known each other for 2 decades.
This
It's
has
okay.
happened.
These are
before.
little breaks that we need.
This has happened before,
Yeah.
many times actually, like
Absolutely.
3 or 4 times.
Most great artists do
because
that. Yeah.
we've known each other since we were 12. I was 12. He was 13. I'm a year younger. It's been
35.
it's been
Oh,
20
age.
it's been what 23 years.
Yeah, dude, it's been more than 20.
Yeah.
23 years.
So we
bro.
we take little breaks.
Within them, I would say maybe like 4 times we've had breaks where it's a year or longer.
Yeah, for
of
sure.
no musicality, and then we come back and we do something different.
And
That's always the
and we're
fun
in
part,
that
bro.
right
Yeah,
now.
we're in that break. We're in the
I like
fifth,
that.
We're in the 5th break.
I
right
like
now.
that.
We
That's
know
crazy.
deep down. We don't have to talk to. We don't even have to tell each other or bring this out into outside of our bodies and souls.
Yeah, it
We
just
know that in
happens.
6 months to a year, when we get back together and create, it's gonna be another level because it always happens. We're just taking a little break right now.
That's fascinating. I like that a lot. I'm stoked to see what y'all
creative
do.
break.
Yeah.
I mean, we hang out and work all the time.
It also happens because it's like our creativity has like a limit, and so we're using a lot of our creativity right now to client work,
Yes.
to like stuff like that, right? And so you can't burn yourself out. You can't like spread yourself too thin. So I'm very like logical in that sense,
Yes.
where I'm like, you know what? I'd rather put my creativity to what's going to make me money right now and focus on this to make it better. The music's always going to be there. And to me, it was a tonight was a testament of that.
Most
I
definitely.
haven't. I'm not a drummer. Like I don't drum. I don't know why I stand there.
You
and
dabble.
drum.
You dabble.
I dabble. Like I'm a better beat maker than I am a finger drummer.
For sure.
That sounds sexual, but
Oh, you're a finger drummer, huh?
Damn. I'll make sure to zoom in on the scene.
but like tonight was a testament that the gel's always there. And
good.
it was the first time that I ever like jammed with you.
Yeah, man.
First time I
Really
ever
fun.
jammed with George, and I was hearing it like, what the
Dude, me too. When
just
you guys
try
went,
not to mess up.
I think
really.
you went outside to have a cigarette, but I was listening to it. And I'm like, I did not expect it to sound like this.
It sounded like
really good.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to sound cinematic, like a cinematic piece. That's what it sounds like to me.
It sounded to
so
a point for me
amazing,
where I
man.
want us four to jam some more.
I think we
do.
should.
We will.
I think we should.
Yeah.
We
I
will.
think we should. Ralph, I want to know a little bit about your musical history, if you don't mind.
For sure, yeah.
Because I heard you play that guitar and just come in, and we're honest, guys. This was a straight up jam. Like,
A little fun fact.
I just want to know how
Me and Ralph, the reason why it was meant to be, right? Friendship, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But we connected immediately because, and you know this, I grew up playing French horn, right?
Yeah.
And not a lot of people do.
Jurassic Park. I'll
Oddly
always
enough,
think of that.
our bass player Harley was a French horn player as well. So me and
No
him,
kidding.
we loved the French horn.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Was
a French-
Harley good?
Harley was good.
Was he better than you?
That's another topic over there. Anyway, no, he's a French horn player, and we connected off of that because it's
Nice.
rare.
We did, actually.
French horn players are rare to find another French horn player.
Indeed.
So go off.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, well, kind of piggybacking on what Michael said, we actually met in the flesh for the first time during the Crossroads after party. Remember, it was like a
Absolutely.
week before lockdown, bro.
Yep.
Remember, we were already
back-
hearing
in
about
the
COVID.
back.
Like, nah, but we're good. In the back.
February 2020.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Adrian, his sister was there, Daniela.
I was hanging out with
Yeah.
Daniela. She
Yeah.
was one of my best friends. She was one of my favorite people ever, actually. And then, she invited me over there. And then a few other people were there. Fight broke out. I got involved
it
and
was
stopped
nasty.
the fight.
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo, you know, we
Trying to-
and
no,
Vinny.
he didn't fight. He was trying to kick people out.
I remember, you still had your blonde hair, bro. And I was like, you know what? That's freaking Michael. That's Mike Sinatra. And I had already been following you because I'm a guy that I like to meet people that I feel are very valuable in their industry. Everyone's valuable in some way, right? But people that put the work in to really be, I would say, key factors in some part of culture, right? Like George, I met George too in UIL all region competition, and not to toot my own French horn, but I met this guy.
Nice.
He was a sophomore and I was a senior. I went to Hannah, he went to Pace, and he competed with tenor sax. I competed on French horn, and we both got first chair in the Valley, right? And I thought, this guy is cool. I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna speak to him.
Nice.
Remember that? Remember that, George?
How, was
Look
that,
at it, he's just
how did that conversation go?
Can I just be raw with it, or what?
Be raw with it.
Okay,
please.
so I go up to George and I'm like, okay, so this guy's the meta pipa here, so I'm gonna speak with him. I was always dating the cute flute players and stuff and all, and I go up to this guy, he's just there like
chilling.
and I'm like, hey bro, are you on drugs or something? He was like, nah, I've never done drugs before, bro, but my brother smokes in the house and I think I'm permanently high. That was our first conversation.
I remember one of the first times I met you told me that.
Dude, that's one of the best first impressions. I was like, I'm gonna befriend this freaking guy, man. And
George.
so that was already. I mean, we didn't start hanging out until like 7-8 years ago, though.
KJ, man. George.
King George, right here.
And so you meet George. Right away after that encounter, you guys become...
No, we were acquaintances because we went to different schools.
Got it.
And we're both isolated mystics, but we're good performers. So that's how we met, like that.
Got it.
So that's how we met, and then that's how Mike and I met, and then I met you through him.
Mm-hmm.
And then my background, though, is definitely being classically trained through French horn, which is similarity that we have, right? And I deliberately chose the French horn because it is the most difficult brass instrument to play.
Damn.
And my uncle played it too. He was like, "Mijo, you do, you're gonna make me so proud." You know, some of the other things that we've done together is I was pushing our friend Gilbert Godoy, who is the band leader of Fun with Ether.
Yeah.
And you know, he orchestrates all the music, tracks it, and just gathers different musicians for every show. And yeah, I told him, I was like, let's gig. It had been a while, and he had just dropped his new album. And I said, dude, we'll find people to do it. You know, I'll tell Michael, I'm freaking down. If you need me on bass, guitar, whatever, even drums, I'll get myself out of my comfort zone. I could kind of play some drums too. I played drums for a few years at church.
Nice.
Right.
And then
That's the hardest instrument to me.
drums.
Yeah,
That's actually the thing that I always wanted to do the most, but I was not allowed to by my parentals.
Nice.
And that kind of bred a lot of resentment
because of noise.
Because of noise.
I was
And
like, religion?
I would never. I know, right? I would never
It's too
do
loud,
that to
son.
my kid.
It's too loud for
personally.
Jesus Christ.
I would never. I would buy her first drum set. You want one? You really want to go all the way with it, daughter?
I'm
You
buying it now.
You really want to? I got you.
You're
Even
gonna-
if I don't have the money right now, we'll do
Credit.
it in payments.
You're going to play every day.
And so you're gonna play, and I'm gonna show you the right way to do it, and I'm gonna find the right teachers for you.
Guitar
Nice.
Center credit card. Shout out.
Nice.
Whatever.
Sponsor us, Guitar Center.
But as a
Please do.
creative, though, I'm one of the only full-on creative artists in my family, and
How did-
know,
What
I
did
can
they
see
think
that.
of that?
I can see that.
I really don't care what they think. It sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But I've always been the black sheep, so why should I care what
But
people don't think?
for
or what they
sure,
think?
no,
But,
yeah,
but you
but-
don't mean that in a bad way.
I don't mean it in a bad
It's just
way.
that they're not on your level with music.
Yeah.
So
they
why
wouldn't,
why
they wouldn't
would
go
you?
to see me.
They
Yeah.
don't talk about it. It's not. It's
No,
not.
it's not on the
thing.
radar. It's okay though. The coffee
For
stuff
sure.
maybe, but music, and that's the thing. Like I said, that's intimacy. That's my heart, bro.
Right.
And my heart's a regal heart.
Hey, back to French horn regal.
So for the French horn, the horn in F,
That's why you
is
connected
the
with
most
it.
regal instrument. No, it was a difficulty. It was an ego challenge, but it became like, okay, this is the most gorgeous brass instrument. This is God sent.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I found myself playing stringed instruments. actually played stringed instruments before starting the trumpet and the cornet in
Same.
6th grade, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
4th grade started playing. So I've got around like 20 years of tinkering around. I'm not like learned or anything, but I could write a damn good song now because I've studied the good songwriters.
And you've done it enough yourself.
Actually, I would really like to play one of my original songs. It was us being the house band next time I'm on here.
That would be
Absolutely.
It'd be my first single.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Gentlemen, well, hey, I wish we could go longer with this podcast.
We
and
can
could
go all
speak
night,
all
but
night, you
yeah.
know. But I greatly appreciate being a part of your lives and being able to get
Likewise,
your story
bro.
out here. This is only the first of many. And George, thanks for always being here, man, and really
love
throwing
you,
it down on the
George.
sax.
Love you, George.
You're our boy, and
Georgie.
you know,
Yeah.
we'll tune in. Where it seems like we're gonna actually have a special guest and maybe a line of guests from the next few episodes. Gonna change things
From a
up.
bunch of people in Brownsville that are doing things, right?
Like I said, people at the top of their industry
Yeah.
and are down to be here. So you got to stay tuned to see who those people are going to be, and it's going to be one hell of a value bomb for your life. So thank y'all so much for everything. Guys, go ahead and
Georgie.
like, subscribe, and share it with any loved one, friends, and really let them know what we're doing here, because we really just want to share the culture that we have here, because we live in a freaking wonderful place of the world,
yeah.
and we're here to prove that. All right? Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day, and chime in soon. We got another episode coming up. Bye-bye.
Peace.